So it looks like we have a good group. So let's start with the Nokar mantra. Om Namo Arihantanam. Om Namo Sitanam. Om Namo Ayariyanam. Om Namo Vajayanam. Namo Loe Savasahunam. Esu Panchanamo Karo. Sava Pavapanasano. Mangalalancha Savesim. Paramam Have Mangalam. Paramam Have Mangalam. Thank you everybody for joining me today. So this class has always had a focus on bringing Jainism out of the classroom and into your life. So now's a good time to reflect on how we felt over the summer now that we're back. So did anybody open the book over the summer? Great. We have one person that opened the book. It's extremely hard to open the book, and I'm proud of you. So why did you open the book, and what made you open the book?
Well, you reminded us. That was the first reason. And second, I think there was some discussion happening with my kids about the type of the karma. So that was another reason why I just sort of brush up certain things. So yeah, that's the reason why I opened the book.
That's great. So I know a lot of times we think about Jainism as something we do on Sundays. And each Sunday, like, we receive a shot of Jainism, and every Sunday we promise to include it in our lives more and more. And then that fades into the background. It kind of wears off. Hopefully it doesn't wear off by Sunday afternoon. But, by Monday and Tuesday, we're back thinking about work. And by Wednesday, I think it's definitely worn off until Saturday comes around and we start thinking about Jainism again. So now that we've had the summer off, how did you feel about Jainism over the summer? Did it just wear off for the whole summer?
For me, yes, partially, yes, it did. Just got something nuances every day for office front and personal side and kids, and so honestly didn't get a chance to even look inside what we went through and all of that. So yeah, partially it did wear off. I'm glad we are back though.
Anyone else?
I don't know if it really wore off per se, but I could say that maybe because of the whole COVID thing, maybe we focused on it a little bit, or we thought about it a little bit more. We thought about what's happening in the world, not only us specifically, but elsewhere in the world, and all the different issues that are happening.
I think just because of extra time due to COVID and things like that, this summer was more on the Jainism front. I did not open the book for the what we use, but I've been doing regular Patshala with somebody from India and learning the sutras that I realized that I learned in the childhood but forgot. So I've been revising that. We obviously we all know about the shibir, and yesterday incident was we had some friends who came over and their kids used guns. My son and they wanted to play gun, and I was taken on the side by my daughter, and she said that's bad karmas. We're not supposed to have guns, even though it's a toy gun. We can't use it. And she wanted to donate the guns right away, so it never comes and happen again. So I think overall, I feel that this summer was more productive in terms of Jainism front for us versus before, because I think we have luxury of listening different things on this media and a lot of different things. So I think it's a pretty effective summer from that standpoint. Even though I didn't get a chance to open the book that we refer to.
That's good. I think I just realized why all the gym trainers use Twitter. Because their clients are subscribed to them on Twitter, and they tweet out these emotional, get motivated tweets, right? And that makes their clients go to the gym. So if that's something that you want me to do for you, I will set up a Twitter account and figure out how to use Twitter. If you want me to send you something, not just, it has to be more frequent than every week, right? Because we have dad's class every week. If you want me to be the fly on the back of your head that tells you about Jainism, to think about Jainism once a day, I will do that for you if you are interested in that. I didn't realize that that's why all those gym instructors were on Twitter, but now I realize that that's why it is. So I'd like to, now that we're back, I'd like to offer you some concrete ideas about how to bring Jainism into your life, because this class has always been about that. So number one, say your prayers out loud every day in the morning. You remember we say it out loud because when we say it, we activate a different sense, which is our hearing. That means when we say it, we also hear it. And that means it's more real to us that our prayers are. Remember, we say it in the morning because we want to be in a certain mindset and have that mindset continue on ideally throughout the day. If you say it at night, it doesn't really give you any help. And remember that when we say a prayer, we out loud and in the morning, what we want to think about is the meaning of the prayer. That is, the meaning of the words that we're saying. One other thing we can do to keep Jainism in our life is include Jain art in your home. That is, when you look at Jain art in your home, it will remind you that, hey, oh yeah, this thing is part of my life. This is how I'm supposed to be living my life. It will remind you of what you want to do. It's not going to do it for long, though, because just like all the decor in your home, it becomes invisible at some point, right? But the thing is that what's the solution? Okay, yeah, this Jain art is going to become invisible. What is the solution? How do we make it not invisible? The solution is to believe you are a soul. Okay, everything I'm telling you is a tiny baby stepping stone into believing you are a soul. Once you believe you're a soul, you can forget about the Jain art, You can forget about saying Jai Jinendra to everybody you meet because that's just a reminder that we're supposed to treat each other as Jains treat everything. Once you believe you are a soul, you can even forget your prayers. Okay? That's how powerful it is. That is, once you believe you are a soul, it doesn't matter where you say your prayers or not, because the reason you're saying your prayers is to remind you that you are a soul. So everything we're going to be talking about today is a tiny incremental step into the ultimate goal, which is when you won't need me, you won't need this class, you won't need Twitter, you won't need Jain art in your home, and you won't need prayers. So, okay, what are some other little baby stepping stones that will help us? Another one is to get your kids involved. That is, use your kids as an excuse to set aside some time to teach Jainism, discuss Jainism, and think about Jainism. Remember that these are just hacks to get our stupid brain to act in the way that we want it to act. And there's no better way to hack your brain than to attach your desired outcome to something sacred or to a primal need or emotion that you have. So my trick is to think of it like a marketer thinks of it. Like they want to associate their product with some kind of primal need that you have. So security companies show you about, scary people want to break into your house. And restaurants show you up close, views of their food that makes your mouth water. And of course, everybody uses attractive women to manipulate you, right? So you want to manipulate yourself. And so you want to be your own marketer, trying to trick your brain into doing the things that you want to do. So go ahead and attach your Jainism, your learning about Jainism, to your children. There's nothing better that you can do with your life. Another little baby stone is use a mantra, right? Remember, mantras work, and it's not magic. Mantras don't work because of magic. Mantras work because of mindfulness. That is, let's say I have a professional goal, and that professional goal is to get more clients to expand my practice, right? And every day I have a mantra that is, I say, I need more clients, I need to expand. That's my mantra. I need more clients, I need to expand. And every day I say that in the morning, at lunch, and at dinner. Then what happens? It's not magic, right? What happens? Then when I get that networking invite, I say, and normally I would just ignore it. Or I say, oh no, I need to go home and be with my kids. But I remember every day I said, I need more clients, I need to expand. Then I say yes to that, right? Then I say yes to things that I maybe would have not taken a risk on to get more clients, right? Then I say yes to those other things. And it's not because of magic, right? It's just because I reminded myself of my priorities. And so you can use a mantra to remind yourself of your priorities. So questions or comments on that? Okay, no problem. I think that we're all, over the summer, we're all used to using Zoom and just sitting back and listening, right? But remember, this has always been a discussion. I've never been a teacher. I've only been a discussion leader. That's the highest I ever want to go, okay? I'm only here to spark some interest in you. I'm only here to pass the baton to you so you keep running with it. So feel free to use this more as a conversation. The other thing I'd like to mention to you is to use the Jane Center to fulfill multiple of your needs simultaneously. What do I mean by that? That is, use the Jane Center for your friendships outside of work. Use the Jane Center to feel like you're accomplishing something with your hands, you're building something. That's a need that we have, and we all have jobs that are kind of abstract. I'm kind of a cog in a machine, I kind of send documents around the country, or I kind of make these plans and ship them off to this guy, or I kind of, maybe except Neil has the job that's the least abstract out of all of us. But you need to build something with your hands. You need to feel like you've accomplished something that day. So you can use the Jane Center as an excuse to do that. Use it as an excuse to see the immediate results of your labor. One of the reasons we feel alienated is because we do not see the immediate results of our labor, as many people do. And use the Jane Center to feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself, which is a need that a lot of people feel. And use it to feel good about helping others. That is, you can use it to, and this is kind of that age-old question, is it really charity if I'm doing it out of self-interest? And my answer to you is yes. Okay? It does matter. It doesn't matter if you're doing it out of self-interest or to make yourself feel good. If you volunteer because it makes you feel good, that's actually volunteering. If you donate money because it makes you feel good, that's still just as good as you donating money out of altruism or whatever. So if you do charity and volunteering out of self-interest, that's the best. You shouldn't feel guilty about it. It's just your brain overthinking the whole thing.
Demir, just as you mentioned about volunteering, and I just earlier saw a message regarding lead of a volunteer during the week of Paryushan, where you can go there, work on your stuff, but it's a minimum 2 hour where you just help them coordinate darshans and things like that. Obviously, this is the time of COVID, so people have to think about it. But there's some just as you mentioned, there's an opportunity to get involved during Paryushan time frame and help Jain Center implement the darshan during the Paryushan week.
Great. Okay, so now it's time for a mindfulness exercise. So in this exercise, we're going to keep our eyes open. So we're going, and it'll be easy because we're all on camera here. So I want you to imagine looking at yourself from a different point of view. Now, you know what you look like, right? So imagine that you're looking at yourself. If you're in a room from over there, you're looking at yourself. So what are you doing? You're looking at your phone or you're looking at your computer. But you can see what you look like. You can see what you're wearing. You can see your face, obviously. You normally can't see your face. But from this point of view, you can see your face. Now I want you to imagine you're looking at if we're all in our house or whatever building we're in, we're looking at our house from overhead. We can see where we are in our house. Imagine that the roof is, invisible, right? You can see through it. You can see where you are in your house. Okay, so now I want you to imagine that you're looking down on your neighborhood, right? And you can see where you are in your neighborhood. You know all the streets of your neighborhood. You know where your house is in the neighborhood. It might take you some orienting to get you to wherever north is, but you don't have to put north at the top. You can just imagine yourself. Imagine looking at yourself from that point of view. And you can keep your eyes open. So you can see where I'm going with this, right? It's possible to simultaneously, you can imagine yourself in your state and in your country and on the earth, right? You can imagine where you are on the earth. We've all seen a globe. We all know where we are. So you can see that it's possible to simultaneously have your eyes open and be doing everything you're doing and imagine yourself from a different perspective. That is, I can imagine myself when I'm going to work. I can imagine where my car is on the road. I can imagine that I'm in the car from overhead. I can imagine other people in their cars. And I can look at it from the top down. I can do that at work. I can imagine myself. You can imagine yourself at work right now. Like looking at your computer. You can imagine yourself from overhead or from another place in your office. But you can imagine yourself doing that while you're working. I can imagine what I look like talking to you right now. And you can keep doing that throughout your whole life, throughout your whole day. You can imagine yourself from a different perspective while simultaneously doing whatever it is you're doing. And that's why we're keeping our eyes open while doing this. And because you can do this, you can have a different perspective on your life that will, if you constantly imagine yourself from a different point of view, you will, this is kind of a forced mindfulness technique. That is, you realize how you look to other people. You realize what it is you're doing. You won't get distracted by doing something else. And you'll keep your priorities in line. That is, you can use this technique to bring yourself out of being engrossed in something, which is a distraction to your priorities. And you know who does this all the time is actors. Actors constantly have to be aware of where the camera is and how they look to the camera. And nothing else matters, right? So if I'm an actor and you just see from this point of me up, doesn't matter what I'm wearing underneath, right? Because the camera's not there, right? So actors are trained to do this in their life. And then if you train yourself to do this in your life all the time, then this is a technique to keep Jainism in your life. Because once you imagine yourself doing something from another perspective and you view it like somebody else is doing it, then you won't get caught up in doing things that you don't want to do. And what are those things? Well, sometimes it's overeating, sometimes it's drinking, sometimes it's not being Jain enough, sometimes it's because we falter when we get distracted. And if you keep doing this, if you have managed to do it your whole life, you'll never be distracted. So, did anybody feel anything different during this exercise?
So, um, thinking through those different scenarios, I think I could relate to the experience that I had in the past, not necessarily something that I was looking forward to in future, in other words. So, imagine yourself, like you mentioned, what you're doing now or what you're in office, even visiting some religious places like Palitanas and all that. But for instance, I never been to a place where I would like to go. Um, those things I could not imagine.
Right. And the point is to just always imagine, always look at yourself, what you're doing in the present, and constantly have the awareness of what you're doing in the present from another point of view, not from your point of view.
Understood. Okay.
So here's a way to put it, right? Imagine you're constantly on television, like some kind of Truman Show thing, and there's just always somebody watching you. There's always a camera right there. And instead of going through your life through your first person's perspective, look through your life as if you were watching it on television from that third person perspective. Then you'll never be distracted. You'll always be constantly aware of what you're doing. Now you may say, Thimmer, it's so hard. I can do it while I'm sitting here. I can do it while I'm listening to you. But how am I supposed to interact with people believing I'm on camera? How am I supposed to do my work believing I'm on camera? How am I supposed to... You can live your life believing you're on camera and looking at yourself from the perspective of a third person. Not only that, it will help your life. It will help you get out of the illusion of reality that the first person perspective provides you.
I think, Tabir, this is really interesting. Personally, I think it's very personal to me right now because for two reasons. One is, we are in a COVID environment, and being mindful, being aware, especially let me just focus on the work stuff, right? No other distraction. But the biggest distraction I have right now that I don't want to get, when I'm in the work settings, I care less to look, but it just happens so that in the environment, like in the work environment, I'm by myself, and this phone comes up, and even though I have notification turned off for everything, I really struggle to get the distraction out, and I think it is part of the mindful or awareness exercise that I think you just I think I would like to personally uh, implement something that, I mean, like you said, if there's a camera, whether it's my boss or somebody watching me all the time, I can assure you I will touch my phone less often than I do right now. It's just, I don't know why, but I think what you said just hit home to me. And then the next thing happens that, oh yeah, you saw something, now you respond to it, and you are off focused on I'm off focus on what I was doing. So I certainly would like to. I like the idea of the camera on you all the time, and that will make you conscious, and they'll make you aware that, okay, maybe it's an indirect way. I mean, hopefully I have my conscious itself that guides me to do it. But I I don't know. I don't have the answer, but I think this point is hits home to me, and I really would like uh, to figure out how to be more mindful. And I've tried putting the phone away, and I do that, and that helps me. But how can I do that? It's next to me, and I act like when I'm at work, and I don't need to touch it.
Right. And so one of the things is that people say, oh, this will make me more distracted, but it will actually make you less distracted if you incorporate this throughout your life. For one, you'll get angry less often if you view yourself from the third person, because you'll see yourself getting angry. Because when you get angry, you don't know you're angry, right? You're caught up in it, right? But if you constantly checking in on yourself from a third person, you'll see yourself get angry, and you'll be able to take action to reduce that. It'll make you more compassionate because you'll see yourself from a different point of view. You'll see other people from a different point of view too. This will actually, if you focus on this exercise, it will make you more compassionate. And this thing about the phone, this thing is something that Jainism can help people with, and it's something that afflicts everybody, and it afflicts good people and bad people. This kind of distraction. It's a wonder. Most people are not even at your level. They don't even realize that it's a problem. They don't even realize that their quality of life is being degraded by constant interruptions and by the constant need to be checking their phone. So you're ahead of the game in that respect. And I think that it's important that we'll probably have a whole class on this thing about the phone, because it's extremely challenging and it's extremely insidious the way that this kind of technology, instead of us being in control of it, we are now being controlled by it. So I think that's an extremely good point. Other questions or comments? Goshik, you've had an interesting look on your face this whole time while we're doing the exercise, so I need you to tell me what you're feeling.
Well, the last comment, let me talk about that first. I think it's very interesting the way you explained it, and sometimes in these classes, I feel like some of the things, once you say that, it is so obvious, right? But never got chance to think about it in a framework the way you explain it. So now that you say and you help us think through these things, that helps, right? So in this case, here you are saying that think about someone is watching you all the time. Basically, they are scrutinizing you, and constantly. The way I think we should look at it is that someone is basically looking at you and grading you, right? So in terms of, okay, yeah, he's putting in bad karma, now it's good. And if you think that way, and you are thinking that that someone is constantly looking at you, which is the karma, and grading you, then maybe we'll be in best of our behaviors, right? So for example, you said that think as if you are on television, and we can very much relate to how it has been last 3 months, because when we are on cameras, when we are talking to people, yeah, we are well dressed, professional, we want to be focused on work, and we are constantly thinking you are on camera, and that changes, right? It is different when your camera is off, where I will get distracted, maybe I'll check my phone or write something, or if some conversation is not going on that's interesting enough for me, I'm checking my emails or something. But just knowing the fact that now I'm on camera and there are 8 people sitting across, and someone might be noticing me, now makes me think, what am I supposed to do? What is right for this meeting? Meaning I need to stay focused, I need to interact, and so on and so forth. Even at times, probably I feel, okay, it's a boring meeting, I already know, or it doesn't help me or hurt me, or whichever way. So I think it's very interesting. It is very difficult though, because right now I may think that I can try it, but in a few minutes I'll forget, right? Because especially here you have to make your mind think about it instead of this happening automatically. Or I can see on the screen. Right now I can see on the screen, I know you are watching me and others are watching me, but it's different when it's not there and you have to train your mind. So I think it's a very interesting concept, and we should do that in everything we do, right? When we are talking to our children, we need to think now how he or she is looking at me as a father figure. Am I doing justice in my role or duty, or I'm not? Am I setting the right example? But yeah, so if we do that, and if we can test their in their viewpoint, then I think we will do what is right, and think a little bit more deeply before we take any action or do any activity. So I think it's very interesting. So thanks for bringing that perspective.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for your comment. And that hits the nail on the head, right? You might be saying, Thimmer, how can I do this? I can't live my whole life as if I'm at work and somebody's watching me. I need to relax. I need to be myself. And I'm telling you that if you want to change your life, it's not easy, you're right. You're right that it's very hard. You can't think of it like that. You can't think of this person is judging me for all my actions, even though it's true. if you say, well, I got to get out, I can't live my life on camera all the time. I can't be that person. Well, you want to be that person. You want to have yourself judging you in each moment. You want to have yourself saying, you're not doing the right thing. You need to go back and start again. You want to have yourself, and it's hard. And that's why it's so hard to live an examined life. It's hard. It's hard to not eat meat. It's hard to not drink milk and eat eggs. It's hard to be mindful in every moment. And then I'm doing the wrong thing, and I just had a beer the other day, and then I don't want to do that. That's not who I want to be. It's hard to judge yourself and find that you're not the person you're being. It's extremely hard. I never said anything about this being easy. I just said that this is the way to do it. And to find the willpower to constantly judge yourself, to be your own boss behind the camera and say you're not living the life that you want to live. You need to start acting right. It's extremely hard. Okay, so my gift to you today is to fill out this goal sheet. I sent out this goal sheet, and I know that it's, at first I thought, well, they'll fill it out on their own time, but that's not true, because we need our time, and time is the most precious thing. And so my gift to you is the time to fill out this goal sheet. And I thought before we did it like once a year, right? But I think that's not enough. So we're going to fill this out for until the end of this year. So until December. And then when we come back in January, we're going to fill it out again and see how we did. Okay? Because we did it once, right? And maybe you took a picture on your phone and changed it to your background, but that probably didn't last too long, right? So if you don't have it printed out, don't worry. Just find an envelope somewhere, find a piece of paper, or break out your phone right now if you're not using your phone to get into this meeting, and just write this down, okay? Just write these goals down. So this is our SMART goal sheet that we developed, and that's it. This is the end of the class. We're going to take half an hour to do this. So I want you to do this while I'm kind of rambling here. So I want you to look down and write down your goals on this SMART goal sheet. You remember we have different types of goals. We have personal goals, professional goals, spiritual goals, physical goals, mental goals, and family goals. So an example of a personal goal would be something you want to get accomplished from now until the end of the year. Maybe you want to learn how to use Photoshop. So maybe that's a good personal goal. A professional goal is probably obvious. Maybe you want to attract one new client before now and the end of the year. Or maybe you want to get rid of that project that's been sitting on the back burner for a long time. That's a good thing to write here. A spiritual goal, maybe you want to set aside 10 minutes every day to meditate. Or maybe you want to learn a sutra. A physical goal, maybe you want to set aside half an hour every day to exercise. Maybe you want to go hiking. Maybe you want to run 10 laps in a certain amount of time. A mental goal, maybe you want to be less distracted by your phone. Maybe you want to be more present with your children at bedtime. And a family goal, maybe you want to get together with another family. Maybe you want to do a family project. Or maybe you want to go over your responsibilities for cleaning the house as a family. That might be a family goal. And remember, these goals have to be SMART, right? So they have to be specific, measurable, achievable, resourced, and time-bound. So your goal can't be to lose weight. Your goal has to be to lose 5 pounds. That's a specific goal. And if your goal is to lose 5 pounds, that's measurable. Okay, if your goal is to be less distracted by your phone, that's not measurable unless you download an app that tells you how much you're using your phone each day. Then it's measurable. Okay, a goal has to be achievable. You're never going to run 30 laps without stopping. So don't make that your goal. Okay, make your goal 10 laps. A goal has to be resourced. That is, you have to have the resources to be able to accomplish your goal. So if your professional goal is to finish up this project that's been on the back burner, but you need somebody else's signature and you're never going to get it, you're not resourced. It's not resourced. Or if your goal is to take up woodworking and you have no lumber, it's not resourced and you have no way to get it. And your goal has to be time bound. That is, and it's all where all these goals is only until the end of the year, okay? We're not this. I guess these are medium-term goals or even short-term goals, if you want to call it that. So I want you to take some time and think about it and fill out the sheet. It doesn't matter if you don't have it printed out. Just write it on your phone right now. Write it on some envelope next to you, because that's what we're doing for the next 20. Hey, all right. That's what we're doing for the next 20 minutes. This is my gift to you, okay? Time is the most precious thing that there is. And I am giving you this time to think about yourself, and I'm giving you this time to think about your goals. I think often that just like Jainism on Sundays, we often get stuck trying to make a change in our life. Because for reasons that seem inscrutable to us, those changes we want to make never seem to stick in our life. And we get frustrated because of that. Like, why can't I make exercise part of my life? I know how important it is for my short-term health, for my long-term health. I want to be there for my kids. I want not to have high medical bills. I want to live as pain-free as long as possible. You know, why can't I seem to make it part of my life? We get extremely frustrated that we can't reach our goals. And as we've discussed before, the reason that change is so hard is that most institutions around us are designed to keep us from changing. Most institutions around us are designed to keep us from changing. Once we get over that hump, most people around us in our lives will actively resist us changing, including your wife and children. Even if you're changing for the better, they will actively resist you trying to change because it upsets what's considered normal. If you want to take an hour in your life every day to exercise, I'm giving you permission. Your wife won't like it, your children won't like it, you're taking time away from them because you're not going to take that time away from work. But I'm giving you permission. They will resist that change, even though they want you to be healthier, even though they need you to be healthier, even though they need you to be more mentally present. They will resist that change. Once you get over the hump of institutions, and once you get over the hump of people, you'll find that your own brain itself will start fighting you for changing your life. That is, your own brain will resist you making changes. So is it any wonder that we can never make change stick in our lives when our institutions, the people around us, and our own brain resist us from making changes? So never feel bad about not changing. Never get frustrated that these changes don't stick. Only realize that the deck is stacked against you. And the important thing is to keep trying. I'm going to make a commitment to you. We are going to keep filling out this sheet. You just keep trying. You keep finding ways to overcome each obstacle as you overcome it. And each time you try, it's going to get easier and easier, slightly. You're going to fall at first when first the institutions are going to get you. And then you're not going to exercise for 6 more months. And you're going to think about, why did I not do that? And then you're going to realize, I'm going to get back on it. And then your wife is going to be mad at you. And then you're going to exercise for 6 weeks and your wife is going to be mad at you. Then you're not going to exercise for another 2 months while you think about that. Then you're going to start taking an hour a day to exercise and your kids are going to be mad at you, and your brain is going to tell you that's enough. Your brain is going to say, that's great, I accomplished my 5 pounds. Your brain is going to say, you deserve a break. Your brain is going to tell you it's enough. And you're not going to exercise for 1 more year. You're going to gain your 5 pounds back, and you're going to gain 5 pounds more. But then you're going to think about that, and you're going to get up again, and then you're going to realize what it takes to change your life into having a healthy lifestyle, a healthy relationship with food. And it's very hard, and it took you 2 years, but you're never going to fight it again. Okay? So it doesn't matter that it doesn't stick. Don't get frustrated that your life is not changing. It just matters that you think about why you failed and you get up and you try again. So does anybody have any goals that they're willing to share? It's fine if you want to keep your goals, because if you want to keep them private, that's perfectly fine, because this is supposed to be for you. So does anybody have any goals that they want to share that they wrote down?
I was thinking about doing 2 Naukar Wali, so 108 Naukar per Naukar Wali, 2 a day, every day. And for me, I have tried that in past. It takes 10 minutes per Naukar Wali with the speed which I do the Naukar mantra. But it's not that I don't have 10 minutes or 20 minutes, but the commitment and doing every day, I found that even when I had one, I was not able to do it every day. Okay, I would do it few days and then I'll forget because I'm not committed enough. And sometimes I'll find an excuse. And so maybe spiritual for me would be 2 Naukar Walis, that's 20 minutes. It sounds easy, but it's not, I know that. And maybe I can try that. That would help me, sit in one place and not think about anything else. I may not be at a level where I can completely focus into it. I may get distracted, but at least I'm training myself to say those Naukar mantras, and maybe at least it's like a hacking thing, right? You are doing it for yourself so that you are forced to try and not get distracted. So I was thinking about that.
That's great. I love that.
Kaushik,
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do the same thing, okay? Between now and December, I'm gonna do the same thing. But
Okay.
the day you can't do it, you text me and I'll do yours. But against that, when I can't do it, you got to do mine.
Sure. So I hope you do every day.
Yeah.
I accept your challenge, but then we have to be fair. Otherwise, I'm sitting here doing 4.
No. I'm gonna. That's what I'm saying. I'll do it every day. But if you can't do it, you text me. I'll do it for you. But it can't be more than twice a month like that. Okay?
That's fair. I think that's completely fair.
All right. Anyone else want to join my challenge? Come on, guys. It's only 20 minutes. You all have 20 minutes.
Yes, I will join.
All right. Got Tamir.
Awesome. I think this is great. I like peer pressure. I think I perform very well. So I think that's good.
This is like going to the gym and running a treadmill at home. When you run at home, you just don't run at the same speed that you do at the gym for some reason. I don't. So.
Because other people are watching you, right?
That's right.
Hey, listen, just because we're doing 2 Naukar Radis, if the rest of everyone wants to do 1, we'll give you a beta test of how this is working out, guys.
This is a good accountability as well, because you're holding yourself accountable. And I'm sure I'll sleep less 10 minutes or 20 minutes rather than texting Nick, hey, get my 2 done. So I like the idea.
Mir?
Sorry, it seems like,
You got cut off there.
yeah. Mir, I don't know if that was intentional cutoff or what, but you can repeat what you said.
Did he just say 4 Naukar Radis? Is that what he
Yeah, I heard 4. I don't know about you guys.
So stars were aligned. They didn't want to give me. They don't want me to give a number. That's fine. I'll try, and I'll let you know what I do. I'm gonna start with one though.
All right, we give me here one. Is someone writing this down?
All right.
I'll write it. I think it's easy so far. We are just seven of us.
So Koshik, what are we supposed to think about while we're saying these?
Well, I think we should think about. So I try to picturize God, right? The murti or photograph, whatever you relate to. I try to sit in the room where I have idol Bhagwan murti, and I think at my level where I'm not spiritually that high, I think my baby footstep is just not think about anything other than Dharam, right? And that's a big step in my. I'm not able to do that. I'll 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 sit there and in just few minutes I'll think about, okay, I forgot to send that email or what I'm going to do next. So, so if we think about something related to Dharam or about Murti or Derasar or anything that can hold us or keep us busy uh, in thinking about something which is similar to Jainism, right?
But aren't we supposed
For
to be reciting something while we're thinking about that?
Yeah, we'll be reciting Naukar mantra, right? Uh, so we'll say Naukar mantra. We'll think about. So what we say is, and I see my parents doing it is like bhav yatra, right? So we don't do bhav yatra, but we feel like we are sitting in the temple, and you are in front of God, and you are basically thinking about, I'm doing this to get rid of my karma, so please help me, and things of that nature. Whatever you can relate to, whatever works for you. uh, like I said, my goal is that if I keep the outside world out of it, that's a big, big achievement. And I don't think I can do it, to be honest, because even when I'm trying to stay focused, I'm still have to think and make myself stay focused, right? So I'm thinking about, oh no, I can't talk about email, but I'm saying that, right? So I'm thinking about email. So that's what I would do. But Timir, I'm open to any recommendations.
No, no, it's not that. I'm just trying to understand it because I think that the recitation is supposed to re refocus your thoughts on that because you have to spend some mental energy with the recitation. I'm just trying to figure out, well, if we're doing that, how is this different from meditating for 20 minutes? But I think it's just the recitation because if we're not focusing on what the words mean,
Yeah,
then it doesn't really matter that it's the Navkar mantra. It could be anything that we're reciting when
yeah,
our focus is supposed to be on um, Dharam.
yeah. Only thing was with Naukar mantra, what I've found in past is that you are so used to saying Naukar, you really don't have to think about it, right? And
Right.
and you can think something else, and you can still say that in your mind. So another one of the other techniques one of my brother uses is that he would have Naukar mantra. They have this printed on the metal sheet in front of him, and he'll try to read it. So not only he's saying, but he's also reading each line, right? And that helps him stay focused. So I think whatever works for anyone, how you can stay focused. And at the end of the day, I think even if, let's say, we get distracted, which I think we will end up getting slightly distracted, someone may come in the room or whatever, it's still, at least we are trying our best sitting in front of Bhagwan's murti, and at least we are trying to stay away from the outside world. So uh, yeah, whatever works for you.
Got it.
Some people can just close their eyes and be really focused, and again, depends upon where you are in the journey, and some are further along than others. So
Got it. Does anyone else have a goal that they want to share? When we still have 8 minutes, this is my gift to you. Is this 8 minutes? I mean, some of you are looking bored. Some of you are. I'm giving you 8 free minutes of your life.
Tipper, just a quick comment on the Naukar mantra. I've realized myself, I've been saying Naukar mantra for entire life, and still the teacher found few errors. So, there's an importance of saying it right. Each mantra has its importance. So, one thing I would say that, you know, to make sure that you are able to say it right whenever you say it in speed. Because I've seen myself when I go to kind of towards the second part of the Naukarwadi, I'm kind of rushing through it. So because now I think my brain knows it, kind of go to autopilot mode, and that's not the purpose. So I think that's one. The second thing I think I can find with Karka, but I think that Chetal Bhai has prepared the meaning of Naukar Mantra and the power of Naukar Mantra. So I will, if there is one, I'll find and send it to everybody. And I think what they say is, when this mantra, we say it, if we can actually understand the meaning, why and what we want to achieve by saying that, will help as well. So I will, I'll try to find it and send it to our group. So we can, even if we get detoured, we can think about the meaning and make sure that, we are thinking and doing the same thing rather than having mind somewhere else and trying to recite.
Sure. Thank you for that. So now is an opportunity to think about what you want to do from now until the end of the year. We always think about, oh, if I had more time to do this, or if I had more time to do that. Well, I'm giving you that time right now. I'm giving you that time to think about your life and to think about what you want to accomplish. Because after the call, you're going to be busy with lunch probably. And after that, you guys have something going on the rest of today. But now is a time we can take to think about the direction that we want to be headed. And sometimes that's the hardest part. We talked about how hard it is to change. And it's extremely hard to change because the entire world is arrayed against us changing. But sometimes the hardest part is knowing what we want. And unless you know what you want, you're never going to get anywhere because, as we talked about, other people will use you to do what they want if you don't know what you want. And so this could be some people have more trouble trying to find out what they want rather than achieving those. And that seems like such a nice problem to have, right? Like, I have no problem achieving any of my goals. I just have a problem figuring out what goals I want to achieve. Like, I'd love that life, right? But that's how hard it is that some people don't know, what they can accomplish, which direction they should point their efforts to, where they should spend their mental energy, where they should spend their physical energy. It's kind of like if you've ever had this experience of life being a fog, or you being stuck in a rut, or you not knowing how to get out of the habits that you've created, you know exactly what the problem is there. So any comments or questions on anything that we've discussed today? We did some baby stones we started out with thinking about how we felt over the summer. Then I told you a lot of little baby stepping stones you can use to start believing you're a soul. Then we did a mindfulness exercise to try to keep ourselves from being distracted, to try to lower our anger, increase our compassionateness, and to really a tool to examine your life to make sure that it's going in the way you want it to go at every moment. And then we started thinking about our goals that we want for the rest of the year. And hopefully, and if you didn't print out the table, then print out the table and then take a picture of it and put it on your phone or put it on the refrigerator or someplace you can easily see to remind you, hey, at one time I decided that I wanted to do this. And am I still working towards my goals? So any questions or comments on any of that?
Tim, so you mentioned about the goal. So if you have an iPhone and you're not using right now for the meeting, I would like you to do this with me. So you can go to your settings, and I'm getting to my goal, and I'll obviously hold you guys, make me accountable for it. So then after going to your settings, you can go to your screen time, and in the screen time, you can actually see your all activity. So I'm looking at my activity right now, and you can kind of take a day or a week at a time. And what I am committing to is trying to reduce my activity by 10% every week. It even tells me how many times I pick up my phone, how many, like for example, today since the morning, let me make sure. I picked up my phone 24 times. I definitely didn't need to do that. It tells
Where is that meter?
if you go to settings,
Settings, okay.
screen time,
Screen time.
and then on the screen time, there's see all activity.
Okay.
It tells me last week my average hour on phone. I'm a bit embarrassed to say that number. I'll say that I've watched some pravachan or something, which is true, but it's not all. I can tell you that. It tells me that my pickup average is 93 times a day. I pick up my phone. Uh, it tells me which app I'm using the most, uh, and it's if it's up or down from a previous week. So, anyways, my goal right now is I want to reduce in these categories by by picking up less. I think that's my first thing. It's not sometimes it's not the duration. I'm okay with it if I watch a 30-minute video because I mean I know it's productive for me at least, but then I do not want to do this pick up this every few often. It's like, okay, let me check what is it, because I think that's my biggest challenge. So I'm gonna reduce that because I think that'll help me become more mindful.
And that's a great way to make your goal measurable. Is if you can see the numbers going down, then you feel like you're moving in the right direction, and that's great. And that's definitely a good idea and a worthy goal. Okay.
Don't use Karika's phone, okay?
Yeah, the only thing I do, I know there's not to make her accountable. Otherwise, I'll be in trouble. I will get it 3 times a day.
On the WhatsApp group, I just sent a no-car checklist for the next 4 months for you guys. So all you got to do is you can either use it on the phone, you can print it, you can do whatever you want, you can use it in Excel, but you should go ahead and put how many no-car rides you did every day, and then we can all tally up at some point in time.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you everybody for your time today. I really appreciate that, and I'm so glad that we're all returning and that Dad's class is back.
One more thing real quick before we go. If anyone wants to help out at the temple, as Mihir said, for the 2-hour slots that we have during Pariyushan to help monitor who's coming and help coordinate a little bit, reach out to me or Mihir on that. And if anyone's interested in doing any ghee boli for during Pariyushan, reach out to me as well. I can tell you what's open and what's left, or you want to do Arati Mangardio or something like that, let me know. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.